Welcome back. Every year we have a housing expo put on by Anne Arundel County Community Development Services, and we have some special guests to talk about the event, which is coming up in just a couple of days. Kathy Koch, the Executive Director of Anne Arundel Community Development Services, Inc., and Catherine Ortiz, who is a new homeowner. And Catherine, I understand there's a pretty interesting story about you and how you got involved in these programs. You didn't even have to more or less go to the Housing Expo, but tell us about that. Tell us the story of how you became a homeowner.
Okay.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. We purchased our house in October. We first heard about the program because my husband was going to be working the event, getting the chairs together and tables and such. And I asked him about it, and he told me that the county was going to be there and that they had some interesting programs for people who wish to own a home. And I went, and we spoke to several people there, and we decided that we would try to go through the program. We had a recent bankruptcy about 5 years prior, so our hopes were not that high, but we got our credit back in order, and we were pre-approved to get into the program. We went to the classes, found a great realtor, which is a very important thing, to find the right realtor who's going to serve you, because
And
that's
I understand
what they're
you
all
weren't even
about.
looking for a house. I mean, you weren't even
We
thinking.
weren't. I never thought we'd be able to own one, and now we have a beautiful 4-bedroom home. Look out the back off our deck. We have a beaver, a resident beaver there, and just a million different types of birds, and we're so enjoying it. And it was all because we were able to get into one of these programs.
And the program actually, the classes that they require that you go to, and I know it's pretty extensive. You have to go to the classes, you can't miss the classes, but they also not only help you get your credit in order and back in order, but they do talk to you about finding a good realtor and kind of really give you mortgage education that I think a lot of people just don't get. You know, a lot of citizens don't get, even if they don't have any other problems and they can afford a home. It's really valuable education.
Well, you've got to figure a house is probably the largest purchase you're going to make in your entire life. And so many people do it without knowing the ins and outs of the whole process. And it's a pretty complicated process. So what we say is, you know, education is the best tool. And so, and also knowing what programs are available. I think that they didn't know that they would be eligible for a state mortgage program, which enabled them to get into their house. And had they not locked into talking with one of our counselors, they wouldn't know this. So coming to the Housing Expo is something we really, really encourage, because it's an atmosphere where you can come in and just talk informally with our housing counselors, see realtors, see some of the mortgage companies, and just start to gain information and take that tiny little baby step toward maybe purchasing a home.
And just like Catherine, there may be people out there that think they're not ready or they're not in a position to buy, and coming to the Housing Expo, they may be surprised.
They may be surprised, exactly. And the other thing that with the Housing Expo, with the whole foreclosure issue that's out there, we really, really encourage people to come. If you think that you're struggling with your mortgage, or you may be struggling with your mortgage in the future, or there's something you want to change about it and you don't know how to go about it, the earlier you get in to talk to us, the better off you're going to be. And again, when people are in those situations, they sometimes are embarrassed by it. It's hard to talk about. So again, come into a safe environment and come and talk to our counselors and see what they can do.
Before it's too late.
And come before you even start struggling, because then we can really help you.
You're right.
Is there anything in particular someone should bring to prepare for this, or they just kind of show up themselves? What do you recommend for people who are thinking about attending the event? Do they need to bring any information with them?
Well, they really don't. But a lot of people, you kind of know what your annual income is. You should also, you probably know a little bit about what your credit looks like, but don't worry too much, because our counselors will help you take a look. We can help you get at your credit report and take a look at your credit and see what you may. What the counselors do is they help you see what a bank's going to see when they look at your credit, and how do you need to improve it? Is it okay? And what can you do about it? So just kind of be aware of what your situation is. And if you've been thinking about it for a while, you probably have thought up some questions. And so it's a good, just come on and ask those questions.
And the expo isn't, that you also have other vendors there, is that right?
Yes.
Do you have banks there? Do you have realtors?
Mortgage banks, mortgage companies, realtors, other nonprofits that offer different types of programs to help people get in their homes and stay in their homes. And also the state of Maryland, CDA will be there, and also hopefully information from FHA, from the federal government also.
Wonderful.
And Catherine, what were some things that the counselors helped you do in preparing for purchasing your house?
Well, they went over our financial situation, and as I said, we were pre-approved to enter the classes and to take those, and then we received a certificate which enabled us to get our realtor. And also, I'm disabled, and I was able to go through a disability program where all I needed was $500 to get into the house.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
And the interest rate is around 3.7%.
Wow.
So if there's anybody out there who has a disability, you know, home ownership can be more than just a dream. So you really need to get down there and check it out.
Well, great.
And she would not have known about, they wouldn't have known about the CDA program, the state program for people with disabilities, had they not come and
Right.
us helped them through the process. So.
Well, we appreciate both of you being here, and we encourage everyone to come out to the Housing Expo. It is May 21st at Marley Middle School, and I believe there's no registration required.
That's right.
But you can go and find out more about the event by visiting www.acdsinc.org, or you can call 410-222-7600. There's more Week in Review to come. Stay with us.
Who knows where milk comes from?
The refrigerator!
Before that,
The grocery store!
Why don't we visit a farm and see where milk really comes from?
Yeah. It's always a good idea to get down to the root of things.
let me try. My turn. Visiting a farm is a great way to learn.
It's an utter sensation.
Hey, give the udders a turn. Get it? Udders.
It's cool.
It's sweet.
Fresh from the farm.
Let's eat.
Let's go to a farm.